Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. And My name is Dave Susky. I'm the president of CGNA. This webinar is hosted by CGNA, and we are fortunate today to have as our presenter and preferred vendor, Accuenergy. They are represented by Kurt Spackman, who is the BAS product manager, and Chad Schwenn, who is the BAS business unit director. As you may or may not know, Accuenergy manufactures power meters, current transformers, pre-configured UL 508 control panels for their metering solutions. They offer a cloud-based solution as well, and BAS sensors. Today's presentation is going to be focusing on Accuenergy's BAS sensor products. We want to thank our CGNA members for taking the time out of their day to join us, and we definitely appreciate that. Just a couple of housekeeping things to talk about is right now we have the attendees on a muted only. You could type in questions into the box up on the top right. It has the question mark. And I think that the presenters will take those questions as they come in. This presentation will be rebroadcast and stored in our library so people could see it after the fact. And at the end of the presentation, we're going to open it up so that you can actually have a conversation at the end of the presentation. So I'd like to welcome Chad and Kurt. Go ahead, guys. Kick it off.
Sounds good. Thanks, David. Thanks for the intro. Thanks for having us today as well. And special thanks for the people that are attending today. We're happy to be a preferred vendor to the CGNA group. This is an honor that we don't take lightly. And we're going to do everything we can to become that preferred vendor business partner and hopefully friends along the way. So that's one of our goals, is to make sure that we're owning what we need to do to earn your business and to be a preferred vendor in this program. A little bit about me. David already said my name, Chad Schwenn, and my title. I've been with Accuenergy for about a year and a half now, a little bit more than that. But I do have a background in the BAS industry segment for over 30 years. So I've done everything from sales, marketing, product development, you name it, I've done it. And made a lot of good friends along the way, including CGNA members. So I'm happy to be back at a company that's actively pursuing a partnership with CGNA. A little bit about Accuenergy as well. Accuenergy has a background in meters and CTs. They've been a company since the late 1990s. They've been very successful in selling designing, manufacturing, and selling meters into the market. This is a segment that they've made a huge imprint on, and there is overlap into the BAS segment. So the emphasis for us moving forward is to develop connections with the BAS segment on meters and sensors. So that's one of the reasons that we're getting involved with the BAS sensors. And it is a long-term goal of ours to be a major player in this industry and grow along with our partners. Another thing about Accuenergy, headquarters is in Toronto, Canada. We typically ship UPS third day select. That covers, coast to coast within 3 days. We guarantee that there's no tariffs on orders that we ship. So we have good coverage. We have a very capable staff. You're seeing some people on this presentation that have vast experience in the BAS segment. Our company is very capable. It's set up for growth. It's set up for scalability. And we're just looking for partners to help steer and guide us along our journey to becoming that company that we think this industry could use and lean on for BAS sensors. In addition, there's products that we are coming out with Kurt Spackman will talk about that. I'm gonna pass it over to him. He'll talk about our existing line and talk about some of the new products that we're coming out with. Kurt, if you could take it from here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Chad. Yeah, and to echo what Chad said, yeah, thank you everybody for taking the time to join this presentation and go over our existing product portfolio. But specifically, we catered this information to the BAS segment and what we feel on both the, not just on the BAS sensor side, but also the BA on the energy monitoring side as well, which I'll briefly discuss here at the beginning. I'm sure I've met some of you in my experience, or spoke with you in my experience in the BAS market, or the BAS segment. I have over 25 years in the HVAC, plumbing and mechanical, and BAS industry, mostly on the support side. So anything related to any sort of technical related questions or applications, discussions, that's where I'm strong in. My role here at Accuenergy is the BAS product manager. So I've taken a lot of my experience on the technical side and applied them to the product development side. So any questions, I'll try my best as technical as you want to get them, but I look forward to hearing any feedback or questions I can answer for you today. So yes, thank you for taking the time. All right. All right. So this is just a quick high level slide that is going to be an overview of the products that we're going to be discussing today. I do want to go into some high level discussion or information on our power meters, and again, specific to the BAS market. I do briefly just go into CTs, but the primary focus today is going to be on our BAS sensor offering, what the current portfolio is as of right now. And as Chad mentioned earlier, some upcoming product launches that we're very excited about, in addition to what our goal is with the BAS sensor line. Okay, starting off here, single circuit meters. If any of you are familiar with Accunergy or looked at our website or come across some of our marketing details, you know that from an energy monitoring standpoint, we are very, very strong in that segment, from both a hardware interfacing and analytics of energy data. So from all the way from the software down to the hardware, we have pretty much a solution for every type of application as it applies to energy monitoring. In the BAS segment, we have isolated it to what I feel will cover most applications from a basic metering standpoint with our AccuRev 1300 series. Most single circuit metering is going to fit into this intermediate metering category here. We do have some advanced metering with some power quality monitoring, and then when we get all the way up to the this AccuVim 2 series, AccuVim 2W series, adding waveform capture feature to it. I tried to just give you some high level, I guess, considerations, but essentially the application and spec requirements is going to determine what model you're going to select within each one of these columns. And what I'm getting at is we tried to do a good job here of, again, isolating our SKUs on what we feel is going to cover most BAS applications. But what I did a lot, or what I do a lot, is I love discussing applications with customers and trying to guide towards what the best metering solution is going to be for the project based on specification requirements, data points, how we're interfacing in the meter, how we're using the data, and so forth. Again, so we're here to help you. Again, Chad mentioned this at the beginning. We're looking to partner with you in this, and we know that we're not just supply shop with a bunch of products. We're here to talk about your projects and make sure we collectively come up with the right solution. So, okay, so I just briefly went over the single circuit meter. We do have multi-circuit meters as well. This is the AccuRev 2100 or 2110. It's capable of monitoring up to 6 3-phase loads or 18 single circuit inputs. Here's all the high level specifications. And I'm not going to get into all of them, but what I do want to tell you is from a data point and interfacing as far as communication standpoint, we're going to have every solution that you need, whether you want to connect to it via BACnet, either via IP or MSTP. We have all communication protocols available with this multi-circuit meter, and that also follows suit with the single circuit meters as well, with the exception of this basic meter, the AccuRev 1300. This is just RS-485 connection only. We are very excited about the our new product release just launched earlier in the year. We do have a new multi-circuit meter, the AccuRev 4100. Number of key differences with this that I won't get in all the details of, but some of the important ones that I would like you to take away with this is this one has 24 single circuit inputs, so it's capable of monitoring up to 8 3-phase loads. But what's really nice about it is it's expandable. So if you run into an application where you're monitoring multiple circuits within a panel, and it exceeds the 24 single phase or 8 3-phase loads, it's just a simple daisy chain connection to expand the number of CT inputs on the unit. This one is going to have every communication protocol that you require in the BAS market. It does have some onboard data logging capabilities along with some of our other products. But again, come to us, talk about the project, tell us, if you have a specified competitor's manufacturer meter on the project, and we're going to help you find out or figure out the best solution with what our product catalog is. So yeah, basically I wanted with this slide to, again, we have a very wide range of different metering solutions. Where we're really focusing on with the BAS market is our AccuVim L series, which is that intermediate column I mentioned earlier, our multi-circuit meter, and then the basic metering. Right here is where we've seen the bulk of the meters go in the BAS market. Again, once you start to jump up into like waveform capture, like where you're monitoring the actual power waveform, coming into a building or a piece of equipment and you need like that power quality information, we go up from there. We also have DC metering solutions as well, if any of you come across like renewable type applications. One thing I want to mention is we have a UL 508 panel shop at our facility in Toronto, where we make every type of customizable panel that you can think of. We do have some off-the-shelf panel meter, or some meters within a UL enclosure that I'll show you in the next slide. But I do want to explain that if you do have a project where you need a number of meters mounted within a panel, you need everything pre-wired together and pre-labeled, and no matter the scale of the project where you need some customizable panels, that we can help you with that. A couple of units I think, and I've seen especially popular in the BAS industry, is our AccuPanel upgrades. So essentially what we do here is we take any of our meters, whether it be the AccuVim 2 or the multi-circuit meter, and we mount them in a IP66 NEMA 4X rated enclosure. We pre-wire the meter back to pre-labeled terminal blocks for your CT inputs and your voltage references. Your voltage references are going to have fuses in here, so it is protected. And essentially the purpose of this package is to speed up installation, eliminate any sort of installation errors with everything being pre-wired and pre-labeled, and just really save money on labor is the reason for the panels. So we do have some off-the-shelf products readily available. Basically, it's just a single circuit meter mounted in a panel with some of our products. But again, if there's a customizable scenario, we can assist with that as well. And then CTs, I don't get into tons of detail. We have a wide variety and a very large catalog of CTs. We have your standard split core with millivolt, milliamp, amp, 1 amp, and 5 amp CTs available in split core and solid core. We also have the rope style flexible Rogowski coils, and then we also have hinged split core, which these are smaller in profile than our standard split core CTs. These are typically used to monitor multiple circuits within panel, sub-panel, also available. But one thing I wanted to tell you is if you do come across a CT from a different manufacturer competitor, we're going to more than likely have a one-for-one solution for that. So keep us in mind for anything related to CTs. If you run into obviously a competitive bid project, but also to availability, we've been able to fulfill many needs with not just our CT availability, but just our products in general. Okay, this is where I'm going to dive into the BAS sensor offering. I'm not going to read everything line for line for everybody because I know everybody's familiar with expected features for BAS sensors, but I do feel that there are some product features within this group that separate us a bit from our competition, from a kind of to speed up installation, to standardize on SKUs, and basically just have better availability on product. One thing I do also want to, before I start getting into the different series of sensors, is this is just the start of the portfolio of what this is going to look like. So Chad mentioned this at the beginning of the presentation. Accuenergy is heavily invested in product development and understands that there is a need to fulfill with BAS sensors, and they, my world as the BAS product manager has been just product development and what features does the market demand, and where can we separate ourselves and provide a better product, and that they're committed to the R&D side and the development side. So if we were to have this presentation a year from now, it would look quite different as far as our sensor offering. But we had to start with what sensors are going to cover the most applications. So again, I want to just have that caveat at the beginning of this presentation that this is the start, there's the next step, and we're committed to getting to that next step. So all Accuenergy's sensors all start with Accu, and then there's an abbreviation of what series type it is. So TEMS is short for temperature sensor. So all the products within this series are all going to start with ACUTEMS. Here you see the product family photo with duct mount, room mount, outside air, wall plate, and then also immersion sensors. I do want to kind of briefly go over configuration of part numbers. We tried to make this as simple as possible, but so essentially what we do here, again, we start off every model with the series type, and then the dash will be the mounting configuration or form factor. So DM stands for duct mount, and then you select your temperature output requirements, so whether it's a resistive or if it's a transmitter. And then if it's resistive, within this column, we have all the kind of the industry standard resistive outputs, 10K3 to 20K RTDs. And then you have your probe length options. And then right now we've standardized on a NEMA 4 or a NEMA 4 enclosure across the entire product line. We kind of left this as a placeholder as well for future enclosure development. But right now, we felt that we could launch the product with the proper price point with just an IP65 enclosure. Transmitter outputs 4 to 20, 0 to 10. We have already pre-selected 2 temperature spans with the ability to customize span if required. And a couple of features I do want to discuss with this product. We do have a mounting flange on this unit, so that gives the installer the flexibility of adjusting the probe insertion depth within the ductwork to give you a better positioning in stratified air. That's one thing that we thought was important. Or you can flush mount it to ductwork if you'd like to. It has 2 holes here on the side of the enclosure that you can directly fasten to the ductwork. And then we've added some features to this unit that give it speed up installation just slightly, and then that we feel installers have liked. And I'll go into some more details with these, but we do have push button terminal blocks as opposed to screw terminal blocks. And then we have quarter turn self-capture screws on the enclosure here for accessibility to the enclosure and wiring. So again, just real quick features to kind of speed up installation time as much as we can. Okay, the ACUTEMS IM, so that stands for IM is short for immersion. You'll notice a very similar SKU selection process. The only difference is essentially just some different probe lengths for the immersion depth. One feature that we've added to the immersion sensor, all units come with a 304 stainless steel thermal well that we've preloaded with heat transfer paste already in between the probe and the thermal well for better heat conductivity and response time. So that's already preloaded in the thermal well when you get it. Everything has been, or I did mention this, I'm sorry. And then we've standardized on the IP65 enclosure. Connection, the standard offering is 1/2 inch NPT connection with the thermal well. And then the ACUTEMS OA stands for outside air. Again, very similar SKU selection process. The only difference with this one is obviously the probe comes out the bottom, so you can surface mount the enclosure to a flat surface outside. You can also use this sensor in like a cold storage or warehouse environment, wash down environment, things like that, because it does have the IP65 enclosure. And then the ACUTEMS RM stands for room mount. If you'd like me to, I can go into details later with like SKU selection, but very, very similar process. We do offer it with no display or with display in either Fahrenheit or Celsius. I guess one nice feature on this one is if you do order the transmitter with the LCD, you can have both 4 to 20 and 0 to 10 output in one device, as opposed to having to order it as a separate line item. And then with this one, we have our ACUTEMS WP. WP stands for wall plate. 304 stainless steel wall plate, used for wash down type environments or zone sensing. Right now, we only have these with resistance outputs, potentially be paired with a transmitter with the 1K RTD. But right now, this is, mostly being used on, like I said, zone sensing or wash down environments. And then we do have like the foam pad on the back of the sensor. But yeah, 304 stainless steel, pretty standard product. Okay, a couple of competitive advantages on this one. I mentioned some of them, but I do think it's important to give you a couple of visuals on this. Again, we standardized on one enclosure with the IP65 for at a price point that you normally don't see with that high of moisture and dust protection. We have the flexibility of the adjustable flange with the duct mount unit. We've got the preloaded heat transfer paste in the immersion sensor. Here's a visual. The screws are disconnected from the enclosure here, but I assure you these screws here are self-capture, so you're not going to lose, the installer's not going to lose them in the field. Essentially, it's just a quarter turn spring-loaded self-capture screw. You turn the 4 screws and the enclosure cover pops right off. And then we do have those push button terminal blocks, like I said, instead of the multi-turn screw terminal blocks. Again, our goal was with the initial product launch was the least amount of SKUs to cover as many applications possible while providing a quality product. And this, like I said, this is the start with the temperature sensing side. This will expand into different mounting configurations. We've got our product roadmap, and as far as development goes on what's to come next. And but this is going to cover a huge swath of different scenarios. Next, I'll get into the humidity sensors, ACUHUM, short for humidity. What you see here is your duct mount unit, your room mount unit, your outside air unit, and then the outside air with weather shield paired with the outside air unit. But I'll show you that here in the next slide. Again, similar part number configurations. So all of our temperature sensor, or I'm sorry, all of our humidity sensors can be paired with the temperature sensor, whether it's a resistive output or transmitter output. Again, we tried to make this as simple as possible from an ordering standpoint, but there are a number of options here. If for whatever reason any of you need any guidance on part number configuration as you get used to things, we're more than happy to assist you with that. And one thing I do want to mention is, both Chad, myself, and the whole BAS team at Accunergy, no matter how small the question, please reach out to us. We're available, and we want to be available for you. So anyway, analog, you can get your RH output in either 4 to 20, 0 to 10. Again, all the different temperature outputs, or you can get it without a temperature sensor. And again, very, very similar feature set as the temperature products, with the better enclosure, adjustable flange, and so forth. Our relative humidity accuracy is plus or minus 2% across the board right now. Part of the product development side is obviously higher accuracy to come with certification, like NIST, for example. But right now, everything is plus or minus 2% across the board. ACUHUM outside air and OAW. To add the weather shield packaged together with the outside air unit, you just add a W. So your ACUHUM OA, ACUHUM OAW. This would be the W. Again, what output do you need for your RH signal? What temperature output do you need, or do you not need a temperature output? And then what sensing element do you require? And then the ACUHUM room mount, same part number configuration. You can get it with again, Fahrenheit and Celsius for your temperature display, or no display at all. And then what it does with your RH and temp here is it scrolls in between what the temperature reading and what the relative humidity reading is. Okay, a couple of standard or competitive advantages with the ACUHUM products. Some of them are very similar to the temperature, which I won't bore you with. But one of the things I did want to bring up, again, we definitely had the installer in mind with some of these products. We added, I did want to bring up that all of our product labeling on the actual sensor itself has not only your model number, but it does have the wiring diagram specific to your product, along with just general information of what the sensor is. So if it's got a thermistor output, if so, what type, what the output is, what the power requirements are, and so forth. We thought that was a nice feature that we've had good feedback from installers on, and I didn't think we'd have such positive feedback on something like that. Okay, and then the ACUPRE. PRE stands for short for pressure, differential pressure differential pressure sensors. These are specific to non-corrosive, air. So basically your standard BAS application with differential pressure monitoring, whether it's duct static pressure or controlling infiltration or positive pressure in a stairway, or whatever the application is. What you're seeing here is we have 3 different series within the pressured line. We have your wall mount unit, our surface mount unit, your duct mount unit, and then we have a DIN rail mounted panel mount unit. Okay, again, similar part number configuration, ACUPRE, and then dash, go to your form factor. In this case, it's duct mount. What your pressure ranges are going to be. So all of these have field selectable pressure ranges, but we indicated what the min and max value is for the field selectable ranges are. Right now, the duct mount unit comes only with display. Basically, this is a placeholder. Eventually, there's going to be one without display, and then what analog output you require: 420, 0 to 5, 0 to 10. The LCD display is nice for for the installer, for making sure obviously the inches of water column matches, or pascals matches what the front end is displaying, and make sure you have the sensor configured or the front end configured correctly, and then basic troubleshooting. Right now, all the pressure products are plus or minus 1% full scale accuracy. This particular one, like I said, is designed for directly mounting to ductwork, so it has an integral probe already fastened to the enclosure. One thing nice about this one is you can rotate it if you want your wiring connections to come into the top, or the bottom of the unit, so you can flip the LCD and mount it that way, so you can rotate it. Let's see. Oh, it has a few user selectable features: pressure range, response time, and then your units of measurement. So if you're changing it to pascals or MMINC, or I'm sorry, MMMC, or WC, sorry, MMWC, you can change that with onboard dip switches. The other thing I want to mention is all of the terminal blocks within the pressure products are removable. So, you pull your terminal block out, wire it, and then put your terminal block on to simplify wiring in those tight spaces. And then this unit has an IP65 rated enclosure as well. So again, we tried to standardize on the best type of enclosures that we could use for these products with the proper price point. And then with all of our products, they're going to have zero calibration just via a push button on the PCB. The ACUPRE WM. This is our wall mount unit, very similar to the duct mount unit, except just a different form factor. The probes come out of the bottom, so this gives you the flexibility of adding, tubing to monitor differential pressure in a hallway in a room, or a stairwell or whatever. But via the adding quarter-inch poly tubing to the unit, and then then you could add a pickup port, or whatever to monitor the difference in pressure. And I'll show you our accessories for the products here in a couple of slides, but very similar features as the duct mount unit I already discussed, just different mounting configuration. And then we have our ACUPRE PM, which is short for panel mount. So this unit is a bit defeatured versus the duct mount and the wall mount unit. It does give you, it's a very slim housing, and it gives you the ability of mounting it within a panel next to other components with very tight space constraints. And you just mount it to 35mm DIN rail with the integral DIN rail clip. It does not have an LCD. It does not have field selectable options. You have to know what your pressure range is prior to ordering. And it doesn't have the IP65 enclosure, but this is going to be typically mounted in a panel of some type. Yeah, that's the ACUPRE PM. And then we do have a full line of accessories for all of our pressure products: tubing, pickup ports, straight and angle, velocity, and then your room pickup ports in both just a kind of our standard room mount enclosure, and then stainless steel wall plate. Okay, it doesn't sound like we've had any questions yet but that is our current offering, our portfolio on the BAS sensor line. I do want to talk about some upcoming products that we're very excited about. Looks like we do have a question. Okay, I got a question here is, do we offer tagging for sensors? That's not something that has been asked of us quite yet. That's not, I guess I don't have a good answer for you. It's not out of the realm of what we're capable of. We do it on the metering side. So that's, I guess what I'll say is if an opportunity presents itself, let's talk about it. But that's not something we've currently have provided. But like I said, that's not out of the realm of what our capabilities are. Yeah, no, that's a good question. Okay, I'm going to keep going here on some of our exciting upcoming product launches. The first one is our ACUCO2 DM series. This is going to be our duct mount carbon dioxide transmitter. This unit is going to be compliant to the ASHRAE standard 62.1. It's with the 0 to 2. Oh, so let me get to the SKU part selection first. So it's going to be ACUCO2-DM, and then we'll have the different CO2 ranges. So 01 is 2,000, 02 is 2,500, 03 is 0 to 5,000. Probably the most common is going to be the 0 to 2,500 because it does comply with that ASHRAE standard I mentioned earlier, where you have the higher accuracy up to 2,500 ppm. We have the gasketed mounting flange to provide the flexibility of adjusting the insertion depth of the probe when you need it. It has both 4 to 20 and 0 to 10 VDC outputs in one model. It has the higher accuracy, plus or minus 30 ppm, and that is compliant with the reset standard grade A, the California Title 24. All of our CO2 sensors are utilize non-dispersion infrared technology, the NDIR technology, which has been tried and true for years now. And also the auto baseline correction, or the ABC logic is what it's branded as, is also utilized to inhibit or to provide basically maintenance free or no need to calibrate under normal circumstances. Typically, we've seen sensors last, and with this similar technology, up to 15 plus years under normal operating conditions. If it does, for whatever reason, need to be calibrated, we do have that capability. But right now, everything's going to have, on the duct mount sensor, have the ABC logic applied to it. And then an IP65 rated enclosure. And again, it's going to have that same label that shows you how to wire it and everything like that. So this actually, and I should mention that the ACUCO2 duct mount unit, it'll be available in about 2 weeks. We're basically just having everything readily available on the shelf in stock. So it's the production side, and that's one thing. As you work with us more and more, that's what you'll recognize is we typically like to keep inventory available and ready for quick expediting. So we understand everything's not going to be, people are looking for quick shipment. So available inventory is what's important, not made to order. So that's one thing before we've announced the product launches, we're making sure that our level of inventories are where we want them to be. The level of inventory. Next is our ACUCO2 room unit. I'm very excited about this product. I've had a lot of a lot of time investing to make sure that this product, and this isn't a high res picture right now because we're working through the marketing side of it right now, but I wanted to at least share it with everybody here, what we got coming out. But yeah, I've been working a lot with this product and I'm excited for it to launch. But it's going to be an ACUCO2 room mount unit. It's going to have both 4 to 20 and 0 to 10 output in one unit, so you don't need to order the specific analog output. It's going to have resistive temperature options if you need it, and you can get it with or without LCD. One thing that I've been excited about is all the flexibility in the field to change features when you need it. So if you need to change the analog output signal for CO2, for temperature, for RH, if you need to change the temperature span, if you need to change the CO2 span, whatever the case may be, you'll be able to do that from the user interface on this unit. It's the other thing that we added to it is there's an air, which I don't show here, but it has an air quality indicator. So basically a CO2 colored scale for the CO2 levels in the space that you can change. So it'll have a green, yellow, red scale, and what it'll do is as CO2 levels rise, you can determine when it's going to go to yellow, you can determine when it's going to go to red, so the user has that visual indication on when CO2 levels are hazardous. So yeah, that's another nice feature. And then again, everything's going to utilize NDIR technology and have that same auto baseline correction programmed in, so it makes it essentially a maintenance-free product in standard environments. And then another one we're very excited about is our ACUCUR line, short for current. We're going to have the Dash FS series and the Dash AS series. The FS stands for fixed switch. So, just your basic go, no go, equipment status, current switch. A couple of really nice features we built into this one. It's going to be UL 916 certified. It's going to have a removable bracket mounted to the base of the current switch. That bracket will provide you the flexibility of mounting the sensor to 35mm DIN rail or surface mount it via the single hole on the bracket, or you don't have to use the bracket at all, and you can directly mount the current switch to the conductor being monitored via the zip ties that'll be provided with the switch. And it's got these mounting tabs on this side, and then it's got one on the other side. One thing I really liked that I had some feedback on that I thought was important is every color LEDs. So it basically, it clearly indicates when your current switch is open or closed. And that really is helpful when you're doing the adjustable unit. So it's got this adjustable potentiometer to change the set point. And it makes it real simple to program the trip point on this one. Yeah, so that's something that I had a lot of feedback on, that how can we make this as easy as possible to program the trip point? And we tried to, like I said, with the LED indication and the color difference to show when the switch is clearly open or closed. Yeah, so right now they're going to be rated up to 150 amps, again, covering most BAS applications. And last, we have our ACUCUR AO, which stands for analog output current transducers. We're going to have it available in a 4 to 20, 0 to 5 volts DC, 0 to 10 volts DC. We'll have 2 units under this one as far as operating amperage range, a 0 to 40 and a 0 to 150 amp. This is going to be UL 508 certified. Again, I already talked about the analog outputs, but same feature set as the current switch. So again, the bracket and the mounting tabs on the unit. Yeah, so we're very excited for these launches. The ACUCUR products right now are basically the final testing is happening at UL right now. So we expect these products to be launched very soon. Yeah, so as far as the timeline goes, again, like I said, I would say most of these products, with the exception of the CO2 room unit, I would expect by the summer. And then the duct mount CO2 sensor within the next couple of weeks. So couple, I'm not going to go through all these different line items, essentially just our standards and certifications. We are ISO 9001. I already mentioned that we have that UL 508A panel shop, essentially, every sort of standards and certs that that are required. And my contact information, I do pride myself on being readily available for questions or comments. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me anytime, like I said, for application discussion, technical discussion. Just want to talk about the products, something that you're running into that has a great opportunity for you, and you're having, some sort of, sourcing issue, give us a call. Let's just talk about it, and at least we can tell our current position, or if we've got something in the works on it. But we look forward to hearing from you. I'll open that up to any sort of question. Or is there any other additional feedback you would like to add, Chad?
No, I was just going to say, opening it up to questions, like what you were just stating.
Okay.
So I did have a couple questions. So you're privately held. You're not private equity. So I think that's a very big plus to the overall company. If you want to speak to that a little bit, and regarding shipping and tariffs and all that stuff, can you speak to that as well, please?
Sure. I'll touch on both of those. So yes, we are privately owned. It's been that way throughout the course of our inception. The president of our company, Howard Wang, is highly involved with the development of products. Basically every aspect of the company he's involved with, and does have that mindset of customer service, customer focus. So that is not something we're going to lose, and we are here for the long haul. I just know what some of the trends are in the industry, price increases and so forth. I know on the opposite side, I've been a customer of Accuenergy's for about 3 or 4 years prior to me joining Accuenergy. They didn't change their pricing once. That includes during the pandemic. They didn't change their pricing. So they weathered the pandemic, I'm almost going to say flawlessly. That's the depth of how well they're integrated with their supply chain and so forth. So yes, privately owned, and I'll say privately focused. Ownership is involved with day-to-day activities and engaging with customers. So they are not insulated from what the needs are in our industry. On the tariffs, we have not shared a tariff with a customer. We guarantee that when it's shipped on our account. And like I said earlier, we ship UPS 3rd-day select. That's our default. So yes, that we have that guarantee out there for our customers.
On your roadmap of products to develop, and this is maybe a lot of your wheelhouse there, but with the new refrigerant, they're looking for refrigerant leak detecting now for different areas. Is that something you're thinking about?
We have not entered that. So toxic gases hasn't been on our radar. But we're growing. Anything could leapfrog. And that's the thing, is we have an open ear to the market. And if somebody explains the value and the scope of opportunity, we will quickly drive that through our system. And we're very flexible and able to run a new opportunity through our company. So I would just say, David, if there's information out there on that, we'll take it and dissect it.
I just heard through different conversations that sales of the VRF systems with the new refrigerant, they're in certain municipalities are running into a roadblock because of the leak detection required for that.
Yep.
That's why I asked.
To be honest, I've been on product development committees for that specific product in the past. We've gone around on different opportunities and technologies to monitor that. So it's not out of my wheelhouse, but it just hasn't been in the scope so far for Accunergy.
Gotcha. Do you have any cross references for competitor products?
I'll
let Kurt take that one.
I have a pretty vast history with crossing parts. So yeah, if there's a true, if there's an opportunity to take away a sore point with your current distribution network on something and or you simply just need a product quicker, or obviously for bid purposes as well, I'm more than happy to help you with that scenario. So if it does come up to where, yeah, so if you have, you know, a list of products and there's an opportunity and you're looking for the best equivalent with our current portfolio, give me a call and we'll talk through it.
I think just from a support perspective, Chad, in the U.S., where are your regional guys based out of, or your salespeople based out of? Locations?
Yep, Kurt and myself, we're located in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay.
We have other support people located out west. We have Lauren, she's out west in Oregon. And then we have our support staff in Toronto.
Toronto, okay. Thank you.
And we'll make all of our numbers, email, contact information available for CGNA members.
Yeah.
So, you know, like Kurt said earlier, we entertain that option to help, to fill in the gaps, to be an extension of your company in these situations.
Appreciate it. Any of the attendees have any other questions?
I don't see any more questions.
Okay. Is everybody off mute there, Harshal?
Yeah, I did ask people to unmute. Yep.
Okay. All right. I think if nobody else has any questions, I think that kind of wraps it up. I really, truly appreciate your time today, guys. It was good. It was very informative. I really liked the presentation, and we hope we can get you back for a talk about metering next time.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks for this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone taking the time.
We appreciate your support at CGNA, and our members do as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Likewise. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Thank you all.
Yep. See ya.